Isn't free, but hitting that subscribe button is.
Polar bear. But yeah, I'll take that too.
You back. This is okay. It's
whatever
It
you
is.
want.
You think it's fair?
yes.
And you think it's fair?
Yeah, she can have whatever.
Hold on. Before we get into it, do you think it's fair?
I agree.
Welcome back. I am Sean, your host, and we've been away on hiatus for a little bit. I was gone doing some things, went on vacation, had a birthday. No kids, no girlfriend yet. So that hasn't changed. And still, no, I'm not 41 anymore. I'm now 42. So that's changed. So going ahead with our our introductions. I am Sean, as I said, 42, still single, and still out here in these streets. We have one new guest tonight who we're going to get to in just a moment. But as we always do, we're going to go to my left and have our introductions.
I am Darren, Maryland area, 43, still single.
I am Ikenna. I am 31. I am married and dating.
You got to explain that a little more. Come on.
Okay, I am non-monogamous, which is why I can say that.
Okay.
My name is Teresa. I'm in my 30s. I'm not gonna say old. I'm single and in the DMV area.
My name is King. I'm 41. I am in a relationship, also in the DMV area.
All right, so that is the cast for tonight. We got a pretty good episode for you guys tonight, and we hope you guys enjoy things. If you guys are catching this on the replay, and if you are catching this on the replay, and also if you're catching this live, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, the like button, and the thumbs up button. Helps us out a lot. We're still trying to grow this thing, so do it for me and the show as a late belated birthday gift. I'd really appreciate it. So tonight we're gonna get into the first question. The first question's a easy icebreaker that has nothing to do with dating. So first, who has pets here? Anyone have pets? All right, the two girls have pets. And what kind of pets do you guys have?
I have 5 cats.
All right, that's a lot of cats.
Hmm
I
Why?
only have two.
Skip.
Why? Well, I started with 2. 2 brothers, 2 white cats, and then a stray came into our lives in 2022. She's a tabby, and she has been welcomed in by the boys, and it's lovely. And then my wife and her boyfriend are living with, like, he has a cat, and then they also found a stray. So now we're just really hoping and praying once I move in that the 3 cats will get along with the other 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So the actual question for tonight, it still has to do with pets. Actually, before I get into that question, I want to say that that movie, Death of the Unicorn, I swear they saw my live show years ago, and then someone wrote that movie because in my live show years ago, I said, "What happened if horses were carnivores?" Now that movie wasn't all about carnivores, but if horses were carnivores instead of like
Yo.
herbivores, we'd be in for some troubles. I don't think we would have made it actually. We rode horses to kill other stuff, but if you can't outrun a horse, come on. And horses were everywhere.
Well, they're making movies very dark these days, so.
That's it for me, Darren.
Appeals to different crowds now, so, whoever sells a ticket.
So my actual question is, have you ever thought about if your pet wonders why you don't eat your food like they eat their food with their face?
Um,
I mean, I've had a dog. I had a dog a couple years ago. Well, he passed away a couple years ago. And like he would always sit there and beg for food and watch me eat with a fork and a knife, you know. And when you feed him with your hands or he's at the bowl with his face. You ever think your pet ever wonders why aren't you eating out of your bowl with your face?
they do.
You think so?
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Because I mean, they have souls, and they're just like us too. They have spirits, and they have blood in their bodies too. So like, of course, and they have they need to eat as well. So of course, they want to munch on everything they see, but unfortunately, they can't eat everything like we can. And it's not it's not healthy to eat everything that we can, so they can have a nice like lifespan. But um, you know, I do miss your dog, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I mean, definitely pets. I love pets, but yeah, the healthy eating is the way. But they can't eat everything. But definitely, they definitely want they definitely look at us like they want to have our have the whole plate. But that's
Mhm.
not the way to go.
Right.
I don't know if mine wonder why I eat the way I eat. I think they're just like, I'm gonna get some, or
Yeah.
at least smell it.
Do you always like give them table food, like when you're eating?
You don't give cats food, they take it.
Oh,
Mhm.
well, I'm not a cat person.
That's a good response. I was like, you're about to lie.
That's
You're about to
accurate,
lie. You're
actually.
about to lie.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Do you have
Yeah.
cats?
No, so I was up a buddy's house and I dropped something. I was like, oh, the cat's probably gonna get it. Well, I was trying to say, hey, go ahead and grab it, go ahead and grab it. Cat wouldn't take it. Until I walked away, and then it was like looking at me like, I am gonna eat this, but on my terms. And then waited and then ate it and then walked away. I was like, that why? That was stupid.
Yeah.
You just wasted seconds when you could have already had it in your belly.
But would you be responsible for that cat to be like going to like cardiac arrest because of bad food that they ate though? You know what I mean?
I did ask my buddy
Yeah.
if it was all right first because I was actually about to go pick it up, and he said, "No, just leave it on the ground. The cat will eat it." And I thought the cat was gonna come up and do it right then and there because a dog would already just got it,
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think
Dogs don't wait. They got no chill when it comes to food.
I've seen a cat steal a piece of pizza, so
it's like
you never know.
Rat?
it's like kids.
Wasn't
It's
Pizza
like
Rat
kids.
in New York?
It was an orange cat.
Oh, okay.
Eat Cliff?
Yeah, I was gonna say something about cats. It's my mind. Maybe I'll come back to it later. But that was our first little icebreaker question to kind of get you guys.
You have a comment. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah,
interrupt you.
let us know.
Uh,
I'm not paying attention.
Brittany in the chat said, Sean, these are questions one asks when they are.
I mean, maybe. Maybe I have been. Maybe I haven't been. Who knows?
Yeah.
Check my hair follicles. All right. Moving into the first question of the night. Uh, why are you single without blaming the opposite gender?
I'm out. I can't answer this one.
Hypothetically. Okay.
Hypothetically, why would I be single without blaming the opposite gender? I like my peace. I think that relationships don't have to be hard, but they are. Um, and sometimes I myself like to more often than not, I like to relax. And if you just interject one person in there, which I don't know how somebody would interject multiple people, um, I think that it could be more chaos than I'm willing to accept. So if I were to hypothetically be single, it's because I value peace. I can't bring chaos to myself.
Good. It's a good response, man. I totally agree with you. Peace is everything.
It is.
It really is.
I'd learned it the hard way.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
trying to pedestalize too many, do the right thing, and be the nice guy, and it's not peaceful. It can be very chaotic. So you said to do what's right for you, and a lot of times at the core of that is peace. So
Yeah.
I will not get with someone unless peace is paramount for both of us. So doesn't mean I'm not going to talk to you. Just means that we have to have an understanding that it's I'm not for the drama. We're too old for that. At least I am. Big old 42 now. So no drama my way, thanks. But Teresa, you were going to say something as far as the question goes. Why are you single without blaming the opposite sex?
Um, I just, well, my last relationship, I escaped in the middle of the night after a hurricane.
Would you like to elaborate? I'll put it back a little higher.
Sorry. Sorry, did you say, what did you ask?
You said you escaped from your last relationship during a hurricane or after a hurricane.
Yeah, right after the first hurricane at midnight, I left.
Were you being held against your will?
Um, not necessarily, but it wasn't a good relationship. We had been together for about 7 years,
More.
and
Oh, gotcha.
we were together for about 7 years. I don't know if you're a horror fan. Have you seen Ready or Not?
No.
No.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you have to watch it. It's on Disney, which is weird. I guess because they own everything, but it's about this girl who gets married to this guy and she brings him back to his family. And then they have to play this weird game where after they get married, it's like a tradition. But one game is if you play hide and seek, they have to kill the bride before midnight or everyone dies,
It's
except for the
terrible
bride.
game.
Yeah. So, without getting into too much detail of what happened, it's pretty much that movie with less money and blood.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And games, less games.
Okay. So back to how you escaped.
Yes. We got into a huge fight. And he punched a hole in the bookcase. So I
In a
just,
bookcase. Was this a flimsy one or was this a
it was like in
stand?
the garage. So it was like kind of like that.
Okay. All right.
Um, so I just like grabbed my cats
How many
and
cats?
two,
Okay.
and I didn't have a carrier. I just pushed them in the car and left. And it was a long drive. I went to South Carolina to see my dad because he actually just moved there like probably a month prior. So it's been a great almost year of freedom. Um, and once you're far away from it, you start to realize like how bad it actually was.
Right.
Yeah. Also, it was like in the South, and like my mom's Korean, and I felt like they used that against me
Mm-hmm.
because they would say like I was low class, and I was like, how am I low class? I went from being an IT like administrator
Mm-hmm.
for a three location organ procreation procreating. Never mind. They took your organs legally.
Okay.
You gave them permission. And then I did the computer stuff. And then when I moved to Florida, it was hard for me to find a job.
Hmm.
So I started doing odd jobs and working at Tractor Supply, which is really hard when you're in your 30s.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, especially in Florida because it's so hot.
I have a clarifying question if you don't mind answering it. The relationship that you left, was it a marriage or not a marriage? And I'm asking because how easy was it to be able to leave?
Um, we weren't married, but he kept talking about common law marriage. So I started immediately looking into that to make sure I wasn't married by default, which thank goodness, I think only like one or two states still does that. And he wanted to get married before his grandmother died so she could be at the wedding. And I had been pressured into getting married within that 7 years a few times. But I was like, no, I don't really want to do that. Like I want to get taken these things taken care of before I make that type of commitment. Um, so no, we weren't married, but I did have a ring.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. And when you left, did he know you were leaving, or you just kind of left in the middle of the night?
It's weird because he told me to leave, but then he got mad that I was leaving.
How dare you do what I say?
How dare you actually leave and not sit in your car?
Right.
I was like, you really thought I was gonna sit in my car?
Huh.
No. Like you've known me this long. Like how did you not know that I was gonna leave?
And you never went back to him, right?
There unfortunately was a little bit of time when I first got back where we discussed getting back together and we kind of kept it secret. But then he really couldn't keep his mask on.
Hmm.
He was really struggling to keep it on. So there was a time where he would keep calling, and every time I answered, he would scream at me. And I'd hang up and I'd text him like, "Hey, I'm not going to talk to you if you're screaming at me." He's like, "I'm not going to do it this time. I'm so sorry." And I answer, and he immediately starts screaming. I was like, "All right, yeah, I'm done here. Like
Mm-hmm.
100% done."
Wow.
Um,
How did you guys? Go ahead. Go ahead.
respectfully, so like
Mm.
today, is it hard for you to kind of find someone now because of what you dealt with
Um,
prior?
so
Respectfully, it was
I know. There's like a lot of moving pieces because he doesn't know that when I was thinking about leaving anyway, but I was kind of afraid because I lost like 80% of my things
Hmm.
because he kept all of my instruments. I had several guitars and like ukuleles, and like I don't have any of that stuff. I
Right.
don't have it like my like childhood favorite toy anymore. It's still there. But it's not worth dealing with him and his family to get those things back.
Yeah.
But during that time, I started talking to somebody that I was had been interested in, but was too afraid. But I was like, pretty much, I felt like I was losing everything. So I was like, I'll just ask.
Yeah.
So we were seeing each other for a little bit, but it didn't really work out. And that ended in July.
Okay. Hmm. All right. Got it. Um, Darren, you didn't answer the question. Why are you single without blaming the opposite gender?
Um, well, yeah, I mean, that could be more of the sex, being a man, being, kind of getting in your own way. Um, but also, just when two people are trying to come together on certain things. I have kids, also makes things, um, complex, obviously. And, when you can meet eye to eye on certain aspects of life, um, unfortunately you have to, part ways, but there are always windows of opportunity. There's always gonna be, in terms of relationships. So, and I'm very optimistic, and I'm hoping, I'm definitely hoping at this point to, kind of open some doors. But the answer to that question, yeah, you know, um, when people are single, it could be by choice. It could be just a decision that is better um, for the both of the two people. Whatever's healthy. You know, but end of the day, it should be beneficial for the two parties. You know, but yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. And I mean, you've got technically two choices. So you don't have to answer the question if you don't want to,
Well,
because
I mean, I do have an answer. I do struggle in relationships because I struggle with people pleasing, which will just automatically like people don't get to like a person that gets together with you and really actually wants to be in a relationship with you as a person isn't necessarily wanting you to just completely lose yourself in doing everything that they want to do because that's controlling. So it's like, my wife has been really supportive in helping me be like, you need to figure out who you are and like show me what that looks like. And that journey has been really tough because as soon as I feel her having like a feeling or an emotion, or like if she's having a tough time, I want to like bend over backwards and like take care of everything. But when I haven't checked in with myself to be like, do I actually have the bandwidth and resources to take care of things without like building resentment or being upset that I have to do it? Like sometimes I don't ask if she actually needs help with something because I'm like, I just need to take care of it. Um, so like, and I'll lose myself in those moments. So it's like, um, so it's when I get into relationships with others, I can find myself getting pulled in that direction of like kind of wanting to chameleon into the person that I think they want me to be. And I have to like learn to stop myself to remind myself that like if I'm just myself in front of them and they don't like that, then that shows me that they're not for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good answer. Good answer. All right, we're gonna move on to the next question. Now, I tend to pull these questions from my interactions online and things I see. So I figure those are more or less trends. And I have seen this question a few different times. So I'm gonna ask it here tonight. Now I've noticed a lot of women have said, bring back actual dating. What do you think they mean by this, and where is dating gone?
I am going to say that I'm not sure if I went on a date, but it was very much like a date to an extent that like things were done that I've never experienced that I thought were supposed to be experienced in a date,
Such as
like being picked up in a car.
you've never been picked up before for a first date. Okay, all right.
Also like opening the car door for me and like
She had a gentleman so far. Okay.
I guess I've just never been with a gentleman until recently.
Huh. Oof. Womp womp. Uh, um. Okay. What else? Was there anything else you experienced? Was the first time with this, alleged gentleman?
Uh, I think that's it.
Okay. Did you guys go out to eat?
Not this, no.
Okay. Just what? Coffee?
Oh, we went to a concert.
That's
Something for a first date.
yeah. That's different.
I'm not
Different.
sure if it was.
Ah,
Hmm?
first outing.
It felt like one, but like I haven't discussed it
Yeah.
in any capacity at
That's
all.
what you make it, whatever you're into, you know.
I think
But
Enjoy it.
couldn't
That's a
that
big
become like a
commitment, though.
Delulu situation? Because I've been on not dates that seemed like dates. Like I went to have dinner at NOLA and we sat outside and my friend actually saw us, was like, "Oh, I saw you on that date." And then
Please, mic up to you.
I told that guy, I was like, "Hey, I think I kind of like you."
Bring it a
And
little closer to where.
is this
Yeah, yeah,
good?
yeah, good.
I was like, she was like, "Oh, you were on that date." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna tell him I like him." And he's like, "Oh, those weren't dates."
Huh.
That's
I
what
was
he
like,
said. He said they weren't dates.
Did
yes,
someone tell you that, or that's how you felt?
that's he said.
That's
He
what
said
he
that.
said. Like after, okay,
I also met him at a
interesting.
wine bar as well after that.
Huh.
And yeah, it was, they seemed very much like dates, but they
Hmm.
weren't.
For the concert, was it, hey, I got 2 tickets, let's go, or I got a ticket, you buy a ticket, let's go, but I'll pick you up?
Neither.
Neither.
I've been going through a tough time. My friend works for like a promotion place. So she was like, "Hey, I'll put you on the list for Poppy. So just go in, give your name, and then they'll give you the wristbands."
Oh,
So,
bet.
yeah. So nobody knew who Poppy was.
I still don't.
Yes.
Remember the girl who was like, "My name is Poppy. I'm wearing a pink coat."
No.
And from the 2010s,
Mm.
it's really, I'm not doing it justice because like I'm losing my voice, but she did a bunch of weird videos, but she's actually a musician.
Okay.
And after she got rid of the Toxic X, she became more of like a metal music, and that's what we saw.
Cool.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I know.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
do?
due to some clients I had, yeah. But yeah. But hmm. I still don't understand why would someone say a date is not a date if you're going out with somebody, it's a structured thing, right? You know what I mean? And it's someone's telling you, hey, it's not a date.
Ooh, I wonder, Michelle, I don't think both Michelle and I would classify our first time out together as a date. We were just
Catch it out,
out.
just
Yeah.
casually out. Okay.
Yeah. But we hit
Okay.
like multiple spots,
Yeah.
and it ended with us going to Busboys and Poets. And I don't remember if the check was covered by one party or if we split it. I really, because that was a couple of years ago, but I don't think we classified it as a date. No. So it's possible.
Hmm. Hmm.
The first one we went on was rock climbing. And I just want to mention that usually,
I'm sorry.
and I was look, I don't have a rock climbing body. I'm short and I have short arms and I fall down a lot without being high up.
Okay.
So like we went and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm like 4 foot off the ground, sweating bullets. I'm like, why am I doing this? But and then we went hung out a few more times and then we were just friends, I guess.
Those are dates. Sorry.
So I would say one thing because people like when you're in a relationship and then this is when there's obstacles when you can't go out and when people can go out and do things like that, like that's a date.
Yeah.
And like I would love to do stuff like that. Like, man,
Yeah.
to have something structured like that,
Mhm.
do a concert, stuff like oh my gosh, I would die for that.
But does a date mean like romantic, like we're going to get together as a couple, or can you just like date someone as a friend? Like, can you go out with someone to a rock climbing place as a friend and be like, we're gonna have a great time together?
I would say no. That's my opinion.
Yes,
So, well, it depends on if
I
you're
think so.
Like, if you were to go to a rock climbing place with someone that you are not attracted to,
Then you're just hanging out.
right? Okay. So why does like
We're talking about going on a date, like structured, like
if you're going on a structured thing with a
yeah.
friend that you aren't interested in having a date with,
Well,
but you want to hang out in a structured way?
oh, if we reword the question, if we were going out with a friend, like a friend date, it'd be, you know. But we're talking about going on
But how do you know if it's a
person
date?
of interest.
Okay.
You know, we're
So
going on
you
with somebody with person of interest.
so have you but how do you know?
We're locking the deal in, you know,
How do you
on this
know?
date.
But how do you
How
know?
do you know?
How do you know?
How you know what?
How do both parties know that you are of interest?
Exactly.
You're gonna find out on that date. You will find out on that date. At the end of that date, you will find out.
I still don't know.
I
Well,
think you
if she
should
never
find out.
found out because she don't know,
You gotta
then
put
that's a
some
good.
work in.
That is a fair question. I
You
know
never
that
know,
when
apparently.
I know that when
You
Michelle
need
and
to
I
take
went
premise, you
out,
could have found out.
Yeah. You gotta put some work in.
See,
You gotta put
that's
some
like
work in. It's about the feeling.
I'm
The
shy.
feeling, about the feeling. You know, the butterflies. You're getting the butterflies. Like
What?
some emotions there. Like
No, butterflies are warning flies. They're telling you to run away.
whoa,
she does have a point there. Yeah.
really?
It's kind of just
Sometimes.
like a spark. You don't want to chase a
I'm like
spark.
King right now.
You want to chase a flame. Sparks don't last. Sparks are fleeting.
Huh?
You want to chase a flame. She's right with the butterfly. So the butterfly is a chemical reaction, and you don't really know what's going on. You're equating it to being something that you actually want, but that also feeling that doesn't
Well,
last either.
King, he's proven the fact that relationships do work. So
Right.
he can test.
But did you have butterflies in your first get together?
No.
Ah,
I mean I get it, but also I went into that when we met. It was I'm not looking for a relationship. Now I got okey doked into one.
yep.
I say that as a joke, but I wasn't looking for a relationship. So our first time going out was just that. I enjoyed her company,
Mhm.
plain and simple. Which is why I was like, I think it can happen where you can go out with somebody and it not be a date. But I think you know that.
But a chemical action react. If reaction does happen though, that spark does happen. Wherever how you make it does happen, right? You like that person at some point. You guys get in a relationship. It has it's a biological thing happens in your body. I like this person, right?
Yes. Now, when to go to the question though, when the switch flipped, it was, hey, let's go out on a date. And that was very set up from the beginning to say it that way because we had gone out a couple of times, not as dates. I just enjoyed her company. But they were definitely not dates.
Okay. All right. Again, did you have any thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, sorry, thoughts on what King said or thoughts on the original question?
Both.
Can you remind me of the original question?
Sure. Oof, where did it go?
Was I agree with what
I think the original question was,
Oh, I got it.
why bring back dating? Where to go?
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. So that's I the concept of dating, like in the age of the internet, when there's so much online stuff now,
Mhm.
it's like everyone's immediately like, okay, I'm gonna know you from this internet bio,
Mhm.
and so I don't need to work on figuring out who you are anymore. And we're just gonna go straight from 0 to 100. And I'm gonna like I've had unfortunate situations where I've like, you can get really excited when you're like chatting with someone online because chatting online has a completely different feel than the vibe in person. And there is a level of like you don't have to be you're hidden behind the mask of internet because that allows you to be more anonymous and not as vulnerable with them seeing you in person. So like you can get the butterflies in your stomach on the internet and be like, "Oh my gosh, this could be happening," right? Like you can go as far as to like, sexting and like get into that realm with them and then you meet them in person and it feels completely different with them.
Catfish.
Not because of catfishing, it's just because the internet personas that we have or the internet like the comfortability that we have And like the ways that we use emojis and the ways that we talk to each other on the internet, it's just different than the feeling that you get when you actually have a conversation with someone in person. And it's like, and there's also this immediate, like, there's this impatience, I believe, because of the internet and online dating, because we want immediate results. So we're like, I would like for us to click immediately and be in a relationship immediately. And there's a lot of like box ticking, like, oh, we have, the butterflies in the stomach. Oh, the flame happened. Oh, we feel this thing. Let's move in together. Let's like you take the biological thing and immediately attach it. It just goes so quickly. And dating is a longer process that people don't have the patience for these days because they've been conditioned to be like more impatient
Yeah.
about, like, they just want results. They want the result of the date being of the person being who they need to be with, and that's all they have the patience for. But there's no other like uh they don't understand the like actual purpose of dating, which is to take the time to actually get to know someone slowly, because just because everything's available on the internet immediately doesn't mean that our bodies and minds can process things as quickly as we think they can. So we need to take the time to actually date and figure someone out in that moment.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sean,
This
what's the question in full again?
question full was, I've noticed a lot of women have said bring back actual dating. What do you think they mean by this, and where is it gone?
I would ask those people what is their different definition of actual dating, because I would argue that what they're talking about, if you go back to the time before the internet and things like that, it was more courting than dating.
Yes.
And I would say specifically for the people that wondered where it went, when you were courting very intentionally. Like people want to say, I'm going on intentional dates. No, you're not really going on intentional dating. You're saying you would like to have intentional courting, meaning if I'm someone that's out here that is looking at meeting someone, I am meeting them for a very specific thing versus dating. Dating, it's more for let's see if we click, let's see if we have some type of compatibility. Um, and how you do that, it's a variety of ways. But I think that people that speak that way are mixing up courting and dating. And if they really wanted courting, they would actually present themselves in a way that would make it so that it'd be easier for them to be pursued for something for that intentional courting versus like you can go and date and have fun with anybody to try to see if that compatibility works. But courting, you attract certain things when you're out there presenting yourself in a manner for what you're trying to get. So that's my answer.
All right. Very inclusive. All right. So we're getting to one more quick question. Well, it's probably won't be that quick, but this one's be a thought-provoking question before we have a little bit of fun. So I actually told you about this one that I thought of the other day. Um, why is it that a prenuptial can be thrown out due to a woman claiming she was made to sign under duress, but in the case of paternity fraud, it is much harder for a man to be taken off of child support or for I'm sorry, off of child support for a child that isn't his and have his name removed from the birth certificate. So one more time. Why is it that a prenuptial can be thrown out due to a woman claiming she was made to sign under duress, but in the case of paternity fraud, it is much harder for a man to be taken off of child support for a child that isn't his and have his name removed from the birth certificate?
Because the government wants to make sure the child's taken care of. They don't care.
That's true.
That's
That
it.
is true.
Nail on the head. Damn it.
I'm sorry, my ex went through this,
Get in
so
the name.
He did?
yeah, one of them, yeah.
Okay. So he was married or no? But he had a child. No.
Wasn't his.
Oh.
Oh,
I thought it was pretty clear because
Was he
he's
black?
white and the girl's white.
And the baby was black?
Baby was brown.
Oh.
I mean, some things are obvious.
Did he think for like a little while that it was his, or
Yes,
how long did we?
I don't know. We weren't talking
Oh,
at the time.
that's unfortunate. Yeah, paternity fraud is terrible. Hopefully the laws will be changed at some point to fix that. I think everyone deserves to know if the child is theirs. Especially, like I said we've had our own well, on our panel here. issues with that as well.
Yep, right here.
When it comes down to health issues, it's very important that that child knows who their actual parents are for those health reasons. So if you know someone out there who's lying or might be lying, you should strongly urge them to tell the truth and just get it over with, because down the road 20, 30 years that kid may have some health issues and they're not going to know which way to go because they're not going to know who their actual father is.
Yep. I was at a whole heart symposium today because I have heart disease, and about a quarter of what they talked about was about the genetics and things like that. And I just found out 6 months ago that my dad is not my biological father. So yeah, there's a part of that health history I will never get.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ancestry.com.
I'm on there. I'm not trying to find out, but I am making myself available. And I've done the 23andMe. I'm on Ancestry. I found some distant cousins, but that's as close as I've gotten.
Um, I can. You're the therapist, right?
Yep.
So I mean,
Ah,
have to deal with anything like this before, or
I mean, I worked at a domestic violence center for a bit, and I'm it's the laws are very complicated, unfortunately. And it's I mean, I'm glad that there is the law in place that allows prenups um to be slashed if a woman feels like she was put under duress to sign it. Um, because I feel like that's very hard to even do, is to get out of those situations in general. Um, and I hope that the law changes so that, the paternal fraud isn't a thing. Like, I don't agree with paternal fraud at all. Um, so yeah, I'm I'm glad at least there are laws that help protect women who have been coerced into that sort of situation, and I hope that things improve for fathers that, need to know the truth around that stuff. Yeah.
okay. All right. So we're gonna take a quick pause for the cause. I'm actually going to go into our sponsorship. King, go ahead and do what you gotta do. So once again, if you guys are catching this on the replay or catching this live, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and the like button, and tell your friends, and tell your mother, tell your father, tell your dog. Make sure everyone subscribes. Um, and once again, this show is sponsored by me. We don't have any sponsors yet, so until we get some sponsors, it's gonna be me. And also, just to let you guys know and remind you guys are watching the #1 podcast within a mile of where we are sitting right now. So make sure you guys stay tuned. And so for right now, we're gonna do a new segment here. This segment's gonna be called TDG Theater. So we're gonna be going into a this is a lot. This is real. This is real interaction that I had with someone online, and King is gonna be playing the part of the Karen. So this is King, Karen King. Oh man! And just so you guys know, so sure, the prompt was that started all this. Uh, Women aren't single by accident; they're single by choice. Why? Because too many men just aren't showing up as men anymore. So that was the prompt that started all this, and I'm gonna let Darren be Harold. So go ahead and Harold.
Go take a good look at the female that posted, and not just her looks, but ask her how many children or baby daddies she has. These are the only types of female on social media complaining about a man.
Harold, I have no children, have a good job, and cook extremely well. I'm pretty much a dream girl in many ways. Often men just want sex and treat us terribly or are violent. Not sure why you think we're the only problem.
All right. So then I hopped in. I hopped in. And I said, "So Karen, Tell me more about this cooking extremely well.
Sean, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I'm Armenian, and I've been cooking since I was a kid. But also, I am amazing at cooking French food, steaks, etc.
Okay, Karen, so tell me where to show up for dinner. I'll bring the wine and the me.
Sean, so you think with me knowing absolutely nothing about you that I'll invite you into my home and cook for you? Pretty entitled and unsafe.
So I responded, I'm not throwing shade, but this might be a part of the reason why you're single. I was playfully flirting with you by showing interest in one of the attributes you listed and expressing excitement about something I assume you're passionate about, and something, one second, page 2, and something you said you were very good at. Try to show I was none of those negative traits you listed in men, but instead you turned it into that above. You could have replied with, "Well, how about we slow things down a bit first, and you can start with telling me a bit about yourself before I invite you over for dinner." Playful flirting slash playful banter, and if you weren't interested, a simple thanks, but I'm not interested. By the way, I wouldn't just show up at a random woman's house for dinner. Men value their safety too.
I'm not throwing shade, but this might be part of the reason why you're single. I was playfully flirting with you by showing.
You're reading.
Oh,
Go to the next page, I think.
ah. Sean, I shouldn't have to reply to tell you to slow things down. Most men do want to come over to our homes for first dates. If you don't understand that and set yourself apart from them, how are we supposed to know what you're not actually intending to do and just joking about? I would have been very interested in you if you tried to get to know me before trying to cook for you, before asking me to cook for you.
All right, so we can take a quick pause here. Got to fix the camera, but also let's know what you guys think. And you guys talk amongst yourselves. What do you think so far with this interaction?
Man,
I think she's trying to put you in your place, sir.
she's so defensive.
Yes.
Completely.
I try when Sean shows me these things to be objective. I know Sean, I know his intent.
Yeah.
And I try to still, even with knowing his intent, to step outside of that and try and be objective about if his intent was to be a certain way or not. And this person was just very defensive from the get-go. And Sean and I've always talked. I'm like I'm just not going to engage, but Sean likes the headache.
I can see where it goes sometimes.
Yeah. Morbidly curious.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I get it.
Let's see here. So I'm gonna pick up from where we left off. So I said to Karen, I think it still went over your head a bit. This is why men aren't approaching women like they used to. Have you ever heard of the saying, the man is the head and woman is the neck? The man does the leading. I lead off with the outreach and banter, and the woman is the influence and direction. All you had to do was redirect in order for you to get clarity in what I meant and guide the conversation to a safer space for you. It all comes down to communication. I'm aware inflection can be lost in text, especially when you don't know the person.
That's you.
Close to me? Oh, wow.
Mm.
Okay. So I said, if you were curious, you could have asked me to tell you about myself first. I would have responded with, well, I'm kind of a unicorn. I also have no children. I've never been married. Am a homeowner. Have a good career that requires a security clearance. So I'm super unlikely to go around axe murdering. I also cook, clean, build, fix. I'm 6'2", 235 pounds, great relationship with my mother and father, and extended family, love to travel, stay active, try new experiences, and am also in the early stages of starting my own business. But those are things you wouldn't know unless you dropped your wall a bit and just asked.
Yeah, we wouldn't be a match. I believe men and women are equal. I am not your neck. I am not interested in redirecting from somebody who's making an inappropriate advance.
So I'm going to stop there for a second.
Whoa.
I cannot, like I said, you're a resident therapist on the panel here. I need you to therapy the shit out of this rule.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna give any sort of like this is off the clock.
Mhm.
So
Before you answered,
yeah,
do you think I'm out of line?
you haven't said anything out of line so far. No,
Okay,
no,
just curious.
no, I don't think so. I mean, it's like you're explaining your point of view, and yeah, she just sounds very not aggressive and not willing to necessarily like
She's picking a fight.
she's picking a fight. Yeah, yeah. Like she's finding things that she doesn't like about it, and then she just immediately goes after it.
Well,
She's definitely hungry for a battle
Battle.
on.
It just tried to follow you again.
it's just me 'cause
Say they just tried to follow you again. It's becoming sentient.
All right. Sorry about that, y'all. The camera keeps on having a mind of its own. All right, so we're gonna continue on. So I said, LOL. Well, at least we agree on us not being a match. Have a good night. And Harold.
You don't even have a profile picture, but all you just told us is that you don't have the ability to properly
Pick.
pick a man, or you're getting what you qualify for.
First of all, Harold, I stopped having a profile picture because I was getting DMs constantly. It's pretty easy to swipe through and find what I look like though. And you're saying I qualify, and you saying I qualify for a man that is disrespectfully sexist and invite himself over on a first date? Now,
Uh, so I was done with the conversation, but when I read that, I was like, all right, got to enter this conversation again. So I started with, whoa, Tom, all the way down with that. Now I'm 100% sure of why you're single. You suffer from what so many other women suffer from: shaming, insulting, guilting, and the need to be right. Please point out where I was sexist by asking for more information on something you voluntarily listed as a personal positive trait. Not to mention, I never invited myself over to your home. What I did say was, tell me where to show up for the meal, and I'll bring the wine and the meat. You should really take a whole 5 moments to self evaluate and be actually honest with yourself. You're single because you have a predisposed view of men as being predatory and violent. And if we are going to throw around labels, that would make you a misandrist. Now, if you don't know what a misandrist is, that is basically the hating of men.
I mean, I don't really know what her experience has been with men, but it sounds like there's a whole lot of bad experiences that are making her feel very protected, like trying to protect herself. So the claws are out.
And I get that, but why would you visit that on someone you don't know, you know?
Well, yeah, no, like it's out of line for sure. Like I empathize with her, but I don't sympathize with her behavior.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
She's responding.
You can speak up if you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. In and out, in and out.
And so I replied to something Harold said. Well, what Harold said before. I said bingo, and then yes, over there to the top.
Your response is a true indication that you're crazy and can't have an honest conversation. You also have no accountability. What your problem is, you can't accept your own reality.
Harold, no. I can have a great conversation. I just don't converse with men who try to come over my house and then try to play it off like he wasn't trying to just have sex with me.
Whoa.
All right, so I got a little snarky. I fired back a little bit. I shot a shot over her bow. So I said, enjoy your future of cats, boxed wine, and victim mentality. No one brought up sex, and no one brought up coming over your house except you.
First of all, Sean, I don't drink and I don't have cats, but that actually sounds lovely. See, here's the problem. You attack women when they reject you. You could be a respectful gentleman, but you're not. I'm sure you weren't joking. and you would have come over to my house if I had accepted you inviting yourself for me to cook for you on a first date. And I'm sure you would have made a move on me. Women aren't stupid. We know what guys like you are like, but we want something different and are happier being single than being your neck.
Wow.
Man.
So what do you guys think about Karen so far? You guys want to have a drink with Karen?
I'd be morbidly curious.
Yeah,
I'd have a drink with her just to,
bring her on.
yeah.
I'd be like,
Well, don't expect too much, guys, because she's gonna think that you want to have sex with her or come to her house or who knows what else.
bring the whips.
All right, so I said, Karen, it's painfully obvious that you don't get it, and you still have maturing to do. There was no attack. I was telling you your future. I have been very respectful this whole back and forth. I even screenshotted this back and forth and sent it to males and females that I know to get outside perspective because I know I'm not always right. And they all said you were the one reaching. I'm being kind with that description. They had different words for her. Once again, I never proposed coming over to your house. It's written and time date stamped up above. Stop reaching for something that isn't there and trying to compare me to men you have attracted in your past that have been a certain type of that ultimately have not worked out for you. I'm very good at setting my boundaries and telling women no. I've turned down plenty of women's advances, but I did it tactfully and didn't assume they were trying to come over to my house and to sleep with me or steal my organs. Lastly, being the neck means playing your part in a team dynamic. No one's part is more important than the others. That fact that you couldn't understand that shows there's a high probability that you will stay single by your choices or be in an endless unhappy and unfulfilling relationships.
Sean, wow, you are really upset. And I'm really not interested in responding other than yes. When you say someone is the neck and the head is where the brain is, you are saying that they are beneath you. It's a common saying men use as well as with single cats, and they use these things to attack women. You can have as many as friends as you want validate you, but that doesn't make it the truth to most of us. Have a nice evening.
So she never saw the movie.
And scene.
And scene.
Isn't that quote
This way
from
is fat.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
What's that?
Isn't that quote from My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
You see what's in it, didn't they?
I did.
Bet.
I haven't seen it though.
I feel like this is more Justin Bieber.
Yeah, you might be right.
It was like Donald Trump, like
What? It's not orange.
black.
I can.
I saw the blind, and then I
I keep my hands down.
So once you guys have heard that interaction, make sure you guys leave in the comments what you felt, what you thought about that. Do you think I was being too much? Do you think Karen was being too much? Karen's not her real name. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think this actually helps answer the question that we asked earlier about why women tend to think that dating is dead or people don't, men aren't dating like they used to. As we just showed you, this is an example of what's out there. And I've gotten into situations like this more than I can count on one hand. So I think that this is kind of an example of why women think that dating's different or just it's hard because they don't realize or they're having a tough time looking in the mirror at themselves and self-evaluating what kind of person they actually are instead of what kind of person they think they are. That's a big difference in who you actually are and who you think you are. So you gotta be honest with yourself and think about that Michael Jackson song, "The Man in the Mirror." You gotta take a chance, and I don't know the actual lyrics anymore. It's been a long time, but look at yourself in the mirror, and realize who you actually are. And if you do walk this way when it comes to dating, like I said, reach out to people people who are level-headed and they can actually see with eyes unclouded by hate and also be able to see the truth behind the truth. Full Metal Colt. um, It's very important. So, like I said, leave in the comments what you guys thought about this little TDG theater and the interaction I had with this Karen online. And let us know if you had interactions like this as well, and tell us. Or even we'll have a call-in session one day. You can come to the studio and we can talk about it as well. Um, any other thoughts before we close out the show? I think we might have just one more question here.
Yeah, she was really defensive.
Nobody knows. I see.
She was definitely projecting.
And the other part about that too is that other people can see that. And now if you're somebody that potentially is looking to evaluate for compatibility or courting, it's like I know that people treat people differently when it's something that they're like legit interested in, but it's like you kind of eliminate yourself from a possibility if somebody sees that and go, "Whoa, this is how this person is." Like I'm not like I don't know if uncheck's the right word, but like in the wild, maybe I don't want to try to pursue that. And I think that that's great. I love social media for that. Show me who you are up front
Mhm.
so I know who to avoid.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing about dating that can also be really frustrating. Like going back to that other question about like why women want more dating is like there is this level of being able to kind of like have conversations where you're not like again, you have to be vulnerable in those moments. Like it was the internet. She didn't have a profile picture. She could be as hateful and terrible as possible, and that's awful.
Mhm.
Um, and if she was in person, it's like I'm so curious how she would actually have shown up in that conversation.
Right.
And if she would actually be willing to like to listen, because it sounds like she wasn't willing to actually listen to your side, and that's like a huge point, like part of relationships is like you have to recognize your own triggers and be like, is this realistically for this person? Like her assuming she's like, I know this is what you meant. I know you're wanting to do this, and I know you meant this, and I know you meant that. And it's like, she doesn't. She doesn't know what you meant by those things, but maybe she's had that experience enough times to where she's like, well, now I can just place that on everyone, which, in that case, she needs to talk to a therapist or someone who's really able to like navigate that trauma with her because it sounds like she's been through a lot and she's taking it out on someone who isn't trying to do those things that she experienced.
I just think she was crazy. So just crazy chick. Um, before we close out, does anyone have any questions? I think Kingsley has some questions I said I was going to save about my Colombia trip because there are people out there who want to know things about Colombia.
Oh man, I can't do it now. We would need to dedicate, I think, an episode for that. I think that
Because
certain
people talk about Colombia a lot now. You see a lot on social media, man. So yeah.
I okay, maybe this could be something brief.
A little taste. That's a question. Taste.
Has your experiences traveling to other countries and observing how things are culturally over there changed how you do things here in the United States where you live? And if so, how?
Not really. Things, as far as how I do things here, things haven't changed because you live in a step one, step two, step three type of lifestyle. I wake up in the morning, I take a shower, I go to work, I drive to work, hop on the train, and I get to work, and I'm there for 8 hours. And then I might go to the gym after work, then hop on the train to go back to my car to drive home, to come home and have dinner and go to sleep, wash, rinse, repeat. What I was doing in Colombia had nothing to do with that, but living there well, not really living there, but being there on vacation, um, you get to see how the world can be. So here's my thinking: with the money we make here in America, and the difference in the dollar to the peso, the Colombian peso, it's roughly four times. So my mindset now is to get my ducks in a row here in America so that I can leave. Now, will I end up for sure in Colombia? I don't know, but probably a different country where the dollar goes further, because I feel like we're working ourselves to death here in America, whether you guys realize it or not. If you just think about it very simply, you're born and you go to school until you're about 16, well, sorry, about 18, to high school. And if you happen to go to college, then you're in school and college until you're 21. Then from 21, you're working until you're about 65 is when you can retire. And they're like, oh, we're giving you your best years, which aren't your best years. So 65 to, if you're lucky, 85. You get 20 years when you're not in the best health to live out the rest of your life, when the bulk of your life was spent doing something for somebody else who doesn't care about you. And then on top of that, if you're lucky, if you got your 401k or Social Security, you're now living off of I think it's 2/3 of what you used to make. So that's not real life that I want to live. So by the traveling that I've done and seeing how different people live and they have a different quality of life, I'm looking to get myself set up here so I can skedaddle to a different country and live out my life better, because everyone says life's too short. I don't think it's too short. This is the first one I've lived, I think, unless I've been reincarnated. I don't know. But yeah, I'm looking to live my life the way I want to live it and enjoy my good years the way I want to enjoy, not when my body's falling apart.
But how is it out there though? Is it more dating? Is it more courting? Do you think that you would have for what you're looking for and what you want?
Mhm.
Would it be more successful for you in that type of an environment and place, or would it be just as successful no matter where you're at?
Yes, yes, and no. So it's everything's a lot easier out there.
Can I answer a question?
Sure, go ahead.
Well, can I it's how you were trying to say, but I just want to say it in my way. So is there a potential real relationship for you in Colombia?
Oh yeah, lots. I'm not trying to be a jerk or sexist when I say this,
Yeah.
but lots of them, because lots of women out there are looking for actual relationships.
Okay.
They're not looking for a quick come up. They're not looking for someone to pay their bills or pay their rent or this and that. They're not looking to be used. They want a family. They want a man. They want a husband. They want to have kids. They're looking to do the traditional thing that doesn't happen a lot here anymore.
Now, what makes you so confident enough to say that
I've
though?
talked to them and they've told me that.
Okay.
So it's coming from the horse's mouth. Um,
But they're saying it here too in the US. They're saying it, but the actions aren't necessarily matching the words. Like the results
okay.
aren't matching the rhetoric.
Well, let me give you one example. So I met this girl out there, and we were hanging out, and it was I was like, "Hey, I'm getting kind of hungry. I have some food in my fridge. I'm gonna heat it up. I hope you don't mind." And she was like, "Sure, I don't mind." But I started putting in the microwave. She said, "No, no, no, you can't do that." I was like, "Why not? It's a microwave. I'm fine. I don't need a lot. I'm very low energy, whatever to call it." So she decides to heat it up on the stove for me. So she puts out the pan, puts the food in the pan, and heats it up. And then she's like, "Sit down, have a seat." I'm like, "Okay." I mean, like you sit. She's like, "No, no, you sit." She sits down next to me, and she starts feeding me my food with a fork, forkful after forkful, until I was done. And I've never had it before, except my mom when I was a baby. So and it wasn't the first time this happened with her. We went out a couple more times, and we'd have go out for a meal, and she'd share her meal with me, and she'd feed me off of her fork. Um, so just different things. I mean, they're just more, and don't take this the wrong way, but they're more traditionally feminine out there, in a sense where it's like, well, I don't know if he likes me. I mean, maybe he likes me, maybe he doesn't like me. No, they make it known. They'll grab your hand, they'll grab your arm. They let you know. There's no, does she like me? Mm-mm. They let you know. It's very crystal clear out there. Now, I can't speak for everyone out there. I think I'm averagely good looking. Maybe height plays
A factor.
yeah, factor in that. Because like I said, it's Colombia. The men out there aren't super tall. I'm not super tall, but I think I'm taller than most of them out there. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's 'cause I'm also American. I don't know, but it was very easy out there for me, and I think it's very easy for most men that aren't living there. They're Colombian, so that's a lifestyle I would like to have, where someone that adores me and I adore them back as well. We have a cohesive relationship where it's she puts in, I put in, she takes out, I take out. It's very, um,
I think to what you just said, you just used the word adore, and people don't say that much. Michelle, her and I have never had this conversation. The two things that she do that I value a lot, and we haven't fully said this, is that she adores and respects me. I see that adoration. I think that's the word.
Mhm.
I see the respect, and because of those two things, I give her pretty much anything because I see that adoration, I see the respect, and I admire and I cherish that. Um, and when you can experience that, it's a it's a pretty dope thing. And that's why I'm able to cherish that because I see that. But that was never anything that we talked about. If that adoration or her adoring me stopped,
Mhm.
we might have a problem in our relationship.
Yeah, I get it.
Mutual respect,
Mhm.
common ground. Yeah.
And that's the other thing. There was no game playing out there. It was just like, hey, you want to meet up? You want to go get some dinner or let's hang out? And it was always a yes. It was like, I got to check my schedule or see what I'm doing or no, not today or blah, blah. They want to see you. They want to meet you. They want to be around you. Out here, since I've been back, I've just been home, just doing home things. And I reach out to people like, hey, you want to hang out? You want to do something? And it's just crickets.
Let's do a podcast. Crickets.
Yeah. I mean, it's 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 night and day out there. And I've been to other countries. I've been to Australia. I've been to Japan. I've been to Europe. And for the most part, it's different levels of that. Now, I think Colombia for me has been like the maximum of maximum femininity out there, and everything else been kind of like different levels. But like for me, I'm not trying to put down American women here, but like for me, American situations out here is at the bottom. And it's sad to say because I would love to find a girlfriend or a wife here in America, but all my dating that I've been doing, mm-mm. It's always something weird that comes up. I got pretty much broken up with because I badmouthed her cat, basically.
Oh.
I would no, I wouldn't say
how how dare you?
badmouth her cat. I basically said I was like, look, when I come over, because we would see each other like once a week. I said, when I come over, I want
Dare you,
most of your
Sean?
attention, Yeah.
How dare you, Sean?
I said, when I come over, I want most of your attention. And we'd be on the couch watching TV, and the cat be over there and would start meowing, and she'd start talking to the cat. So I'm like, we're hanging out, we're watching. Can you focus back over here? We have a conversation. The cat will come around and meow. She'll break conversation with me and start talking to the cat. If the cat was coming to me to try to be petted by me, she would like swipe the cat away. And I was like, I think you have an unhealthy relationship with your cat. I mean, like, 'cause I'm asking you, like, I'm only here one day a week. It's barely even 24 hours. Can I get your 80% your attention? And then I got a phone call one night. I already knew what it was. It was out of the time that she would usually call me. And basically, I said those things because instead of me having to break up with her, I kind of knew that was going to be the powder keg that was going to do it for me anyways. And she's like, yeah, I don't think we're going to work out because you don't. I forget the exact words, but it had to do with her cat. And I was like, so you break up with me over your cat? And she's like, no, I'm not breaking with you over my cat. I was like, you are because you just brought your cat into the conversation, and that's why you're saying it. Anything? She's like, no, it's not. We're break. I was like, you know what? It's fine. It's okay. We're good. Everything's fine. We're good. So that's I have plenty of stories I can tell you about my relationships out here in America. And for a guy to say I want more of your attention, more of your time, and you're like, no, you're bad mouthing my cat. All right, cool, cool, we're good.
I just feel like it's an incompatibility thing. Like me and my partner and her partner, like we we've learned to navigate that. Like we always break conversation to end up talking to the cats. Like we will all like half the time we'll like veer off and then be like, "Oh, look how cute they are." But like it's a compatibility thing. Like we're all like, yeah, we've agreed that that's fun to do and we then like bond over like all of us looking at the cat together, but like you're not interested in that, so that's not so you're incompatible with her, and so she might find someone to do that with, but like yeah, it's just an incompatibility thing. Yeah.
Can you say the cats kind of help keep you guys together?
Nah. Like it's a lovely way to like connect, but it's not like if they went away, like we would still have something.
That's good.
Yeah.
Man,
I do pay
you
attention to.
said that very clear. I was trying to find something to poke at that just to be contrarian, but no, I can't. That shit, Sean, she's good.
Yeah. Bring us up.
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. But I did want to have I have a question about, because I feel like, especially you're a psychiatrist,
Therapist.
therapist. So I feel like as the home culture of America has changed,
Mhm.
has really changed how dating is. What is the home culture in Colombia?
Like I said, it's still traditional where I can't say for 100% certainty. I'm just going to go off of norms where, and you people are definitely going to think this is sexist, but like the woman is going to take care of the man in the house. So that means cooking and cleaning. And when she cooks, she's going to serve him first and the kids, and then probably herself. And the man goes out and he works and stuff like that. And family is a very big part of their culture, where family comes first. Um, where here it seems like I come first. I must be happy. I must be taken care of instead of thinking of others before yourself. So and that's how I was raised as well. Not the I thing, but taking care of others, putting others before you put yourself out there. And that's what I'm looking for. Someone who has that same mindset that I want to do for this person before I take care of myself, because I know that person's going to reciprocate and also take care of me as well. So there's just too much I out there that I see when it should be we.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, within the I world today.
mhm.
But you can't really
I hear a lot. I'm not happy.
guarantee someone's going to put you first.
Mm-hmm.
You should always put yourself first.
Oh, you got that mindset
I
interrupted.
I'm thinking that now that I've escaped from Azkaban. Um, so like I yeah, it's kind of like that. He doesn't have a real nose, so that's kind of neat. But I was just saying, like, I don't know where I'm going now. What was I gonna say? What was I saying?
You're talking about the you know putting yourself first, and I'm curious as to like
You're a prisoner of love. Is that what you're saying?
oh the prisoner of love.
I guess you could say that,
Well,
but I don't think
yeah.
it was love, because I do a lot of research into things because I want to figure out why. Why is this happening? So, like, I've been listening to a book on tape or on Spotify that is like anxious attachment and why that happens. So, like, if you tend to like people who don't have money and you want to take care of them, you like taking care of people, um, there's a possibility that something happened to your family life. For example, I usually date broke guys. And in my childhood, I had a job and my mom took it, like the money from me, to help pay bills. That it was in the book saying, like, if there's money trouble and money's borrowed from the child, there's a possibility they will take that into consideration unconsciously and think that love is taking care of someone financially and in any other way. And a lot of people aren't trustworthy. You can know somebody for 7 years and not know that they're a monster. And so it's like you do have to take care of yourself. But you like right after yourself should be your partner, you know?
I think you're probably experiencing a lot of women who are unlearning, who are very traumatized by the fact that they were um forced to only take care of other people, like not even knowing how to take care of themselves. Like they have no idea. And so they're like trying to be in the dating world at the same time as trying to figure out who the heck they are and how to do basic care things, like to even know what it feels like to like just basic like knowing what it feels like to feel kind of like balanced enough in your own system so that you can then take care of your partner, right? It's not a like, of course there can be this level like you can tip over to the other side of it being very like selfish and being very like, oh, I'm in control of myself and I'm not going to care about anyone, right? And that you can see as well, and that can be very problematic. But there's definitely a balance, and I feel like a lot of American women, especially, like are forced into a position of only taking care of others, and then and then if they're in the dating scene, they're then like, oh, I'm trying to learn how to take care of myself, and they're not being honest with themselves that they need to learn that first before they put themselves out there. And then you're receiving in response seeing women that you're like, oh, they're not caring about me. It's like it's because they don't know how to like at least support themselves basically so that they can support you. Like you have to at least put your oxygen mask on first before you put on anyone else's oxygen mask. So it's like it's one thing that if you're like taken care of course, but they don't even know how to put on their own oxygen mask yet. And so you're receiving that backlash, and that's becoming like how you're starting to see American women in general, but it's also just the system.
Okay. So you as a resident therapist, how would you um oh boy. How would you go about saying we should fix that, or women should look to fix that?
I mean, you have to slow down first. That's the biggest thing. It's like we're in such a culture that's like you have to be productive. You in order to have worth, you have to um like constantly be doing. You constantly like there's all these check marks of like you have to get to this point in your life in order to be successful. You have to get to this point in your life in order to be successful, and there's no self-reflection. There's no checking in on like what you personally enjoy. You're only focused on the goal of like I need to be in a relationship. I need to be in a marriage. I need to be, and it's like but there's no like just the concept of being in a relationship in general is not attached, like if it's not attached to the like I am this person on my own, if you have no idea who you are by yourself before you go into the dating scene, like that in of itself needs to be a thing that you do, is like be in like learn who you are, because a lot of times women, a lot of people don't know how to do that, and that involves usually slowing down and being more present with themselves. So
Okay. Now, I was gonna say I had a red flag for you, and this is our new red flag.
oh shit.
Um, yeah, we'll come back to another time,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think with that, we're gonna close up the show. And if you guys want to know more about my Colombia trip, I will let you guys know most likely in our next show next Saturday. So I thank you guys for joining. Once again, if you guys are watching this live, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like button. And if you're catching us on replay, the subscribe button and the like button helps us out a lot. We need the help. Appreciate you guys' help. And I am your host, Sean, still 42, still single. To my left,
Darren. So 43. Glad to be here.
Hi Kenna, 31. Also glad to be here.
Teresa.
you want to be here? You got to be here?
Next week?
Are you? No, you glad to be here now?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'm also going to say that I'm about to be 40 this month.
Hey, welcome to the club.
The 40 Club.
Thank you.
I kind of the baby in the group.
And I am King Smith. You can find me. I'm gonna give a plug, Sean. You can find me on the actual King Smith on all platforms. I also do the King and Me with my lady Michelle every Monday on all the platforms, pretty much at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. It's a live stream about dating and relationships from our standpoint as two people that met in our 30s, are in a relationship, monogamous, and I have no intention on getting married. So we're gonna see how long this goes.
Ever?
I was married once.
Oh, okay. Never
I'm
mind.
not sure if I am willing to do it again. She is aware of that, so that's not a secret. We talk about it on our show. Um, so yeah, people don't think that it can be done.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Dharma and Greg's parents weren't married.
One quick plug for me, since you reminded me before we close the show. I did mention I am starting a business. I will drop the GoFundMe page if you guys want to help out. Drop a few bucks in there. I'd very much appreciate it as well. A business that is not YouTube centric. So I'll drop the GoFundMe page somewhere in the description. So go ahead and check it out. If you can, drop a few bucks. It helps out. Even if it's $1, helps out. Appreciate it a lot. Make sure you guys check us next week, next Saturday, hopefully at 8 o'clock, but more or less 8:15 ish CBT time. So with that, we'll be signing off, and hope you guys have a good night. Catch you on the flip side. Flippity flop.